Hey everyone, today I'm going to talk about burnout and more specifically how to avoid it if you're self-employed, a business owner, freelance, or just someone who is extremely busy, whether that's with work or life. Burnout sucks and it can really creep up on you, and it's really difficult to overcome once you're in the thick of it, as I experienced earlier this year. Hopefully these tips really help you avoid it, because prevention is better than cure. So the first thing that I do when I'm planning my week is I schedule my day off in advance. So I know which day of the week I'm going to be off. It's very rare that I don't have at least one day off a week. That is just a personal boundary for me. But as long as you're scheduling it in your to-do list, in your weekly calendar, just as you would any other work appointments, and just treat it with the same importance. That also means that you don't end up overbooking yourself and saying yes to everything and then realising that you've not actually had a full day off where you don't do anything work related, because that's happened to me. I'm sure that's happened to all of us, where we don't set aside that day where we look and think, oh, actually I can't do that meeting that day because that's my day off. And people totally understand when you tell them that. So just scheduling it in advance and being really strict about keeping that day free just for you is so important. Likewise, I think it's really important to schedule holidays in advance, because if you think about it, if you worked for a company, if you had a regular 9 to 5, you have a set amount of holidays every year. Those holidays are your rights as an employee, and you have to treat yourself as someone who's self-employed, a business owner, with that same amount of respect. Treat yourself like an employee of your business, even if you do literally everything like I do. Even if you're the CEO, like the top person, you still need to treat yourself like an employee, and that means setting yourself holidays. And you could set yourself the same amount of days. You could set yourself specific times of the year where you make sure you map some time off, even just a long weekend, a week if you can, maybe even 2 weeks if you're really lucky and you want to do something amazing, like go on a really amazing like exotic holiday or whatever, or go traveling, or just doing something where you can completely like unplug, switch off and just get away from it all. It's so beneficial. So you can map them out at the beginning of the year. A lot of people do that, especially if your calendar tends to book up far in advance. I know like roughly the times of the year where I want time off. For example, over Christmas and New Year, I usually have a week off, maybe 2 weeks somewhere. And then in summer, I was really bad this year because I didn't, but next year, me and Adam are gonna book a summer holiday. So I know that there'll be like 7-9 days paid for, like a hotel, the flights and everything. And I need to block that out of my calendar and actually pick those dates and set aside that time for myself. And I know it can feel like if you go on holiday, your business is gonna pass you by, like clients are gonna pass you by, and it's not true, and it's not the end of the world to take a week off, 2 weeks off. It's actually gonna benefit you hugely in the long run. The third thing is setting strict boundaries about your time off. So this looks different for everyone and really depends on what you do. Some people put their out of office on when they're going on holiday. Some people on their days off don't even look at their work phone, or they switch it off. They don't check emails. They might not go on like social media if they run social media through their work or their business. Another thing that I do that's like a little personal boundary, and also just a bit of a physical shift from work mode to time off, is when I finish work for the day, and I've mentioned this in a video before, I close up my bullet journal and I set it aside with the binder on, so it's closed. I know it's planned for the next week. I know I've ticked off everything I can on my to-do list, and it's set aside, and I'm not going to look at it and I'm not going to think about my to-do list and work. That is a huge one for me. But there are so many different ways you can set physical and also emotional boundaries, whether it's not answering calls, but also letting people know that you're going to be off, or letting people know that you're not going to be contactable on your days off. Next up, I really wanted to talk about a digital detox, and this is such a buzzword and a lot of people talk about it, but it's amazing and it sounds really hippie-ish, and you're probably like rolling your eyes if you're like me and you work every single day in social media, on your phone, on the internet. But honestly, unplugging for a couple of hours in the evening for the duration of a meal out with your loved ones, for your day off where you just put your phone on silent or on airplane mode and you go for a walk, or you watch a film and you have a bath and you do things that don't require you to be like this constantly. It all builds up and it can get overwhelming, and it's absolutely necessary to step away from it every now and then. And the last thing I really wanted to say about avoiding burnout is to put yourself first. Rest and recuperate. It's just so important to put yourself first and your own self-care and well-being. So whatever that means to you to be healthy, whether it's having an hour to yourself in the morning to read a book, or setting aside time in your schedule to go to the gym a few times a week, or organising lunch with your friend midweek, or doing something that you really love to do on a Friday night, like go and see a film. Even just stopping for 5 minutes during the day and cuddling your pet makes the world a difference to your overall happiness and can help. It's those small moments of just being present and doing something that makes you feel happy. It really, really does help. I have a whole video about how to prioritise self-care in a busy schedule, so I will link that in a card. Make the time and carve out that time for self-care in your busy schedule, because self-care will really protect you from that burnout, from that exhaustion, from that overwhelm, from that stress. So it's important. I'd love you to leave me a comment and let me know what your favourite tip is to relax, to prevent burnout, and to just rest and recuperate in your busy life. And before you leave, be sure to join our community. You can sign up to my email list, and you can also subscribe so you don't miss any new videos. And I really hope to see you in my next one. Bye!